Check two, check two. Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
And a pleasant good Saturday afternoon from Mickelson Field here. Today we'll conclude the 2025 Eastern Dakota Conference Softball Tournament here in this contest, as we'll have one of 3 games for you here on yourliveevent.com. Our first 2 will be state qualifying games, which will feature the Fargo Davies Eagles and the West Fargo Packers in game number 1. Game number 2 will have West Fargo Cheyenne going up against the West Fargo Horace Hawks. And then our championship game will have Fargo North tangling with Grand Forks Red River. Following the conclusion of the championship game, we'll get to the all EDC selection, the senior athlete, the coach of the year, that and more still to come here today. For the West Fargo Packers, mark of 12-18 on the season for the Fargo Davies Eagles. They sit at 11-12. When we come back on the pregame show, we'll recap what happened early this season between these 2 clubs, in which they split back in April. We'll get you ready for the starting lineups and the opening pitch today here on yourliveevent.com. It's Davies and West Fargo in our first of 2 state qualifiers in the EDC softball tournament.
Halstead Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neilsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argusville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
This is Chris from EDC Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Say thank you to the farmers you come into contact with every day. They have chosen a career that is as much their deep passion as it is an absolute necessity for you and I. Spring is upon us and there will be farm equipment on the roads. Give them your patience and room to do their jobs. Trust me, they would rather be off the road working in their field than dealing with traffic. From all of us here at EDC Precision Ag, we say thank you and have a safe spring.
Going back to earlier this season when these 2 teams met, the West Fargo Packers and Fargo Davies again split in their matchups back on April the 15th. In game number 1, it was a 10-9 win for West Fargo over Fargo Davies. Brentley Rowe pitched 7 innings of work, gave up 15 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 8 strikeouts with 3 walks, while Sophia Rarick went 6 innings, 11 hits, 10 runs, 8 were earned with 6 walks and 6 strikeouts. West Fargo in that contest, Grace Vetter had 3 runs driven in, went 3 of 4 from the plate, and then 3 runs driven in for Rarick for Fargo Davies, as she went 2 for 4 from the plate with 3 runs driven in. So that was the first game. In the second game, got to see a couple of different pitchers in a 12-8 win for Fargo Davies. A man went 7 innings of work, and then you had Oslin and Olson pitch, combined 7 innings for the West Fargo Packers. In game number 2, Rarick also had 3 runs driven in, 2 runs then for Megan Supas, while for the West Fargo Packers, they were led by the 2 runs driven in by Grace Vetter in that 12-8 loss. So third matchup of the season between Fargo Davies and the West Fargo Packers. Taking a look at what happened yesterday, Fargo Davies with a 4-0 win over the Fargo Shanley Deacons. Rarick was the story in the circle. 7 innings of work of 2-hit baseball, 9 strikeouts, 3 walks. Again, no runs in that shutout. While for the West Fargo Packers, take a look at their game yesterday against the Fargo North Spartans. They got up early 2-0, but then gave up 9 runs combined in the 3rd and 4th innings. It could never come back in that matchup against Fargo North. The West Fargo Packers were led by Grace Vetter with a solo home run, and Kendall Krenz also had a run driven in the loss here for West Fargo. When we come back after this, we'll get you ready for the starting lineups and the opening pitch here today from Mickelson. This is our first of 3 on yourliveevent.com.
North Dakota All-Star Gathering on your live event, as we'll cover the Shields Softball All-Star Series on June 2nd and 3rd.
This will be hit and over the shortstop Berg into left center field. A run comes in to score with Alexander Raff.
Optimist Volleyball Series June 16th and 17th.
Blue outside Linsinger with another hammer.
Plus, the Lions All-Star Basketball Series on July 14th and 15th.
Baldwin finds Wick. Wick open, 3-pointer coming. Yes, sir!
For more information, go to yourliveevent.com.
Due to the increase in cost of materials, cost of labor, and general inflation, plus the storm weather threats that we have in our region on a daily basis, many homes are not insured properly. Most families' biggest asset they will ever own is their home. We need to make sure we have it insured for enough. Inflation, cost of materials, cost of labor makes us work to stay on top of this. Usually the difference in premium is dollars a day to increase when needed. We get updated costs of goods and labor from area builders to input into our computer program that calculates an accurate replacement cost. With the weather in recent years, it is just scary with how many more frequent disasters are now than even 10 to 20 years ago. We need to adapt and make sure all our properties are protected because we live in the Midwest and deal with many of these scenarios.
As we come back here, taking a look at the WDA and what's going on out west here. Well, sooner or later, we will get to the state tournament bracket after conclusion of the 3 games here in Mickelson Field and also the 3 games out west. That's going on in Minot. Games later today in the WDA in a state qualifier. It'll be Dickinson against Mandan, and you'll have Jamestown against Bismarck High. The WDA championship will feature Williston and Minot. So the Magi and the Coyotes, will go up in the championship upcoming a little bit later on today up in Minot. All roads lead to Grand Forks, where the state tournament will begin on Thursday on May the 29th at 11 o'clock in the morning. It'll be the 1 seed from the west going up against the 4 seed from the east. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll be the 2 seed from the east against the 3 seed from the west. And then later on, it'll be the number 1 seed from the east against the 4 seed from the west at 4 o'clock next week, then the 2-3 matchup. The winner of this game, if it's Davies, they will beat the 4 seed, and they would play at 11 o'clock in the morning. If the West Fargo Packers win, we'll have to find out what the conclusion of the next game would be between West Fargo Cheyenne and West Fargo Horace to find out if the Packers would be the 3 or the 4 seed. But if Davies wins, they would play at 11 o'clock on Thursday next week. If the Packers win, they would play at that time, or they would play at 6 o'clock in the evening next week on Thursday at the state quarterfinals. When we come back after this, we'll get to our starting lineups and the opening pitch here of our first of 2 qualifiers, followed by the EDC Championship here on your liveevent.com.
Red River Valley Speedway, you one of the best. You got 'em for a rest.
The Rumble on the Red, presented by Ellingson Companies and Gerdau Metals Recycling, is coming to West Fargo, North Dakota. The World of Outlaws Mass Energy Drink Sprint Cars come to the Red River Valley Speedway on Saturday, May 31st. Tickets are available now at slspromotions.com or by calling 815-344-2023.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
As we get you ready for the starting lineups here today for the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo Davies Eagles. But first, a reminder, the Norman County Raceway and the Red River Valley Speedway can check out the dirt flying here in Mickelson Field on the infield, but you can check it out going around those dirt tracks as well throughout the Red River Valley. They got the races in last night out at the Red River Valley Speedway. You can also check out the Norman County Raceway up in Ada with the World of Outlaw late models coming on June the 28th. Tickets now available at normancountyraceway.com. That is normancountyraceway.com. As we get you ready for the starting 9 here for the Fargo Davies Eagles, no roll like this. Ellie Steinlich, the senior shortstop, will be batting first, followed by Olivia Davidson, the junior center fielder, batting second. Emery Monchenbaker, the junior second baseman, will be batting third. Rarick, the freshman pitcher, in the cleanup spot with Elle Mann, the junior first baseman, batting fifth. Maisie Carr, the senior third baseman, sixth, with Savageau, the seventh grader, batting seventh. Nybakken, the junior right fielder, eighth, and Reese Dietrich will be the senior designated player, batting ninth. And Ava Bolton in the flex spot will be in left field. Rosenthal here for the Packers in left with Kackman in center. From there you have Arneson in right field, Krenz at first, Oslin at second base here, Klein at shortstop, Williams at third, Pappenfuss behind the plate, and Brindley Roll in the circle. As we get to our opening pitch, brought to you in part by the Norman County Raceway and the Red River Valley Speedway. Here in this one, it will be a righty-righty matchups, both teams in their all-black attire. As this would be swung on and fouled off, opening pitch at 11:55. If you're a University of North Dakota hockey fan, you'd say these are their business suits when UND came up with all their black uniforms when it came to collegiate hockey. But here the West Fargo Packers, black tops, black bottoms with the Packer emblem across the front wall for Fargo Davies. Similar, just with Davies in cursive in maroon, as this one is going to be a slow little grounder. This one across the diamond in time. What a play by Klein and a stretch by Krenz. It's 6-3 on the putout, and Steinlich is retired on 2 pitches. Nice play right off the bat here to open things up in the EDC softball tournament for day number 2 here from Mickelson Field. Olivia Davidson, the junior, now at the plate here for Fargo Davies. A junior center fielder. And the pitch. This one will be fouled. It's now going to be 0-1. Going back to what Olivia was able to do yesterday, 1 of 4 at the plate against the Shanley Deacons with a single. Part of 9 hits the Deacons were able to compile against Talon Card in their 4-0 win over Fargo Shanley. The 0-1 offering, this would be jammed in. Now it'll be 0-2. Going back to Rowan in their matchup against the Fargo North Spartans. Able to keep Fargo North on balance for 2 innings. But then in the third, a 2-run homer by Hoffman and a 3-run homer by Fisher really opened the door for the Spartans against Brindley Rowe, who did pitch all 5 innings in the loss against, or all 6 innings in the losses. That's a line drive to Williams, and Williams makes the catch on a line at third base, and there's 2 down. Now it goes to Emery. Munchenbaker here for the Eagles with a double and a run scored in a similar spot against Shanley, where the first 2 batters were out yesterday, and then Rarick drove her in. 2 down here, top of the first inning. Winner heads to state, loser has their season come to a close. This would be a hit that'll go towards left, and that'll be caught by the left fielder Rosenthal, and Munchenbaker is retired on 1 pitch. 3 up, 3 down inning here for Brindley Rowe in the circle as we make our way to the bottom of the first on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. We're scoreless here on URLiveEvent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
As we get you back into this contest here between Fargo Davies and West Fargo, it is the EDC softball tournament here today from Mickelson Field in downtown Fargo, where it is a little bit of an overcast sky today compared to what we had yesterday. with some clouds slowly making their way through the area here. Going to see temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s throughout the course of the day. Not too bad of a Memorial Day weekend. Then next weekend starts to warm up as we get into the 80s again and get a little bit closer to summer. As Caitlin Kackman will be batting leadoff here for the West Fargo Packers. Chloe Pappenfuss, the sophomore catcher, batting second. Grace Vetter for the Packers batting third. The DP, Kendall Krenz, the senior first baseman, in the cleanup role with Claire Oslin, the sophomore second baseman. Brooklyn Williams, the freshman third baseman, followed by Gretchen Klein, the freshman shortstop. Jordan Rosenthal, the eighth grader in left, with Brinley Rowe, again the pitcher. As this one will be in there for a strike. Gets 0-1. Arneson, again, the right fielder here in that flex spot today for West Fargo. No balls and a strike here to Kackman. It was Rarick with the pitch. Popped up. This one will be playable. Who's going to call for it? The third baseman will, and that'll be a catch by Carr, and there's one down. One down here in the bottom of the first, as you'll see Chloe Pappenfuss, the sophomore catcher, will have her first appearance here today for the West Fargo Packers against Rarick. As she was 1 of 4 yesterday in the loss for the West Fargo Packers, but did tattoo a couple of balls that were a line drive out, as this one is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Just a very pleasant day to be at the ballpark here today. And similar to what it was yesterday, here's the 0-1 offering. As Rarick will see this one miss, it's now 1-0. Going back to what she did against Shanley, just 2 walks for the majority of the batters. She really worked ahead, got strike one. Didn't get to too many 2-1, 3-1 kind of accounts against the Deacon batters yesterday for Rarick. This one's going to be bunted up the third base side, and that'll go foul, now 1-2. Titus calling balls and strikes. Chan Mears up the, and Craig Hahn will be our umpires here across the diamond, the first and third base lines respectively. There's Rarick in a strikeout situation here, the 1-2. This one is fisted back, and we'll keep it at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Third matchup this season between the Packers and the Eagles. Rarick coming off a 9 strikeout performance against Fargo Shanley yesterday. Here's the 1-2 offering to Pappenfuss. In front, the off-speed pitch, and Rarick got her out in front. Pulls the string, and there's 2 down. We saw Rarick use that a couple of times yesterday. Didn't have it consistently, but would throw it once in a while just to let you know, hey, I got that in my back pocket. As you get ready for something quick to make its way to the plate, then just pulls the changeup. As this one will miss low, it's 1-0. That is a filthy pitch in the game of softball. 1 ball, no strikes. Here to Vetter. And Vetter will try to get the first base knock of the game here for the West Fargo Packers. Outfield playing straight away. This one will be in there for a strike. It's now 1-1. Last season in this very round of the EDC softball tournament in the state qualifiers, Davies lost to Cheyenne in a pitcher's duel that was 2-1 out in Castleton. West Fargo played in the championship last season, as this one goes to the backstop, now 2-2, now at 2-1. Red River defeated Valley City in 5, and Northwest Fargo, that championship was a 1-run contest where the Spartans beat the Packers 4-3. The 2-1 pitch. As that'll miss, now 3-1. You could hear the Eagle contingent thinking that one was a strike, was ready to make some noise on a 2-2 offering. Instead, it'll be 3-1. 3-1 pitch is laced. That'll go foul up the first base side. It's now 3-2. Full count here to the senior designated player today, as Rarick will look for back-to-back strikeouts to retire the side. She got 8 up and 8 down to begin the game against Shanley yesterday. Payout pitch is fouled off, and a good at-bat here for Grace. We'll see pitch number 7 here on the way from Rarick. They played back on April the 15th. In the 2 games, they combined to score 22 and then another 17. You had 39 runs combined between the two teams in those two games. This one might be more of a pitcher's duel today, but we'll see if that is the case as Vetter works a walk and the first base runner of the game here for either club on our DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. Kendall Krenz, the senior first baseman, batting in the cleanup role. This one will be called a strike. It's 0-1. As Vetter at first base here for the Packers. The pitch. This would be a fly ball. That'll go to right center field. It has a little carry to it. Davidson and Nybakken are there in the gap, and the center fielder of Davidson will make the catch to retire the side. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left here on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard as we make our way to the top of the second inning. We're scoreless here on your liveevent.com.
The World of Outlaws late models return to the Norman County Raceway, Ada, Minnesota, June 28th. Ada Building Center LLC start to finish showdown. Presented by R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. Enjoy the experience. Nationwide top 10 experience last year. Let's make it number 1 this year. World of Outlaws late models. Ada Building Center LLC start to finish showdown. Presented by R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. Tickets now available. ncraceway.com.
It's safe to say we have it pretty good in the Drayton, North Dakota area. Growing sugar beets, making sugar, bringing a little sweetness to the world. Every day, American Crystal Sugar produces sweet products people love in a place we love to call home. It's a thing we like to call the sweet life, and we're proud to share it with you. American Crystal Sugar's Drayton facility has recently started offering a $4 per hour shift differential for rotating shifts. Go to AmericanCrystalCareers.com for more information.
As we come back here, one pitch, one out. Rarick goes to Klein, 6-3 on the putout, and Rarick is retired here, and there's one down here in the top of the second inning. Oh, man, the junior first baseman here for the Eagles. As Fargo Davies early in the count, swinging here against Brindley Rowe. As Rowe will see this one work outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Ellie Steinlicht on 2 pitches was out. Olivia Davidson on 3. Muchenbaker on 1 and Rarick on 1 pitch so far. As man takes the first ball for a Davies batter. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This will go foul. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. For a win for Fargo Davies, again, they will be the number 4 seed making their way to the state tournament. They came in as the number 7 seed here this season for the Eagles. Playing the number 2 seed Red River, lost to them in the quarters. This is going to be laced, and that's a base knock into left center field. We'll see where Mann can go here. Mann will round first on her way to second. Rosenthal's throw. That'll go to the cutoff man and Klein, and it's a sliding, ringing double here for Mann, and the Eagles get their first base runner of the contest. Maisie Carr due up now for the senior third baseman. Went right over. Klein couldn't do much with it there at shortstop. As Maisie did have a run driven in against Shanley, went 1-3 with a run scored yesterday. As Rowe with the pitch. First pitch swinging, that'll go foul down the third baseline. It's now 0-1. Also later today, down in Omaha, North Dakota State will play Ora Roberts in the Summit League Championship at 4 o'clock this afternoon, as the Bison baseball team will spot in the NCAA tournament if they can beat a team that's owned the Summit League for many a year in Ora Roberts when it comes to baseball. There's a lazy fly ball coming in as a left fielder off the glove of Rosenthal, but the runner will stay put. Carr will reach on the play, and now you'll have a runner at first and second, as we'll give that one a single on the way. Rosenthal to make the diving catch. If she would have made the catch, that would have been a phenomenal play, but she kept the ball in front of her, and with 2 outs, man would have been off and running and scored, but with 1 down, she had to stay put at second base. As now it goes to Savageau. Savageau will hit one, a soft little one that'll go to the first baseman, as she will throw, not in time. Tough one for Oslin and Krenz there. That'll be an infield single on the way, as you'll have bases full as Krenz was looking to the second baseman with Oslin, but Oslin was kind of caught in no man's land, wondering if the softball will come to her. Krenz picked it up, so now you have runners at every bag. Bases are full here for the Eagles, with now Nybakken coming up to the plate. Just a tough one if you're a Packer fan, as they will bring the infield in now for West Fargo. As this will miss outside 1-0. So after a double by Mann, Maisie Carr hits a lazy shot to right in front of Rosenthal in left, and then a ball that wasn't hit too hard by Savageau, but Krenz and Oslin just unable to get that one out at home. It's 1-1, and that's one where Krenz went almost too far out as the first baseman, where if she would have stayed back even, I'm not sure if Oslin would have made the play by the time it would have rolled to her. 1 ball, 1 strike here with Rowe. This would be foul, and that'll be 1-2, as Brindley would love her first strikeout of the game. Well, for Nybakken, just looking to put something in play here in the outfield and see if he can drive in a run. Nybakken 0 for 3 yesterday with 2 strikeouts against Fargo Shanley's card. 1-2 out of the zone. Nicely done by Pappenfuss to not allow that one to get all the way to the backstop. It'll work. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just off the plate, it's now 3-2. Rarick would have liked a strike back in the last half inning. Packers would have liked one there regardless. It'll be 3 balls and 2 strikes now to the number 8 batter. Payoff pitch out of the zone. It will be a bases loaded walk. And Fargo Davies takes the first lead of the game on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard as they lead it here 1-0. So Mann comes in to score. Carr will make her way to third. You'll see Savageau at second, and Nybakken with the first free pass of the game will get the run driven in. 3 hits in the inning, a double, a single, and a single with a walk after Rarick grounded out on 1 pitch to the shortstop and Klein. Now it goes to Reese Dietrich. As Dietrich coming on here, and then back to the top of the lineup for Fargo Davies. So 1 run across so far for the Eagles. So they have a really good opportunity here to put a crooked number up on the board in the top half of the frame. This would be hit foul. It's 0-1. I think we heard the Eagles dugout chanting "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star" to Nybakken last time, so that one worked. As we'll see the 0-1. I had a North Dakota State softball game a couple of years ago. They would throw the rise balls, and if it went out of the zone, here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll miss, now 1-1. I heard the NDSU bench yelling, "She's throwing up," with the rise ball that was up and out of the zone. So that was an interesting chant that you get to hear in softball. 1 ball, 1 strike on the way to Dietrich. Dietrich will hit one on a line. They get 1, a chance for 2, not in time. They nearly got the twin killing. Klein went down to a knee. Retires Dietrich. Williams was there. Sliding back safely was Carr by a hair. And there's 2 down. Now it'll be to Steinlicht here to try to get another run across. Well, for Rowe, you're 1 quality pitch away from leaving the bases full and just 1-1. 1 run across here in the top half of the second. That'll miss outside. It'll be 1-0. Both of these teams, some experience when it comes to varsity with the elder classmen, but a lot of youth with some 8th grade freshmen in the mix as well. The 1-0, this one will run in at the hands. It's now 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to the senior shortstop here. There's Brindley Rowe with the pitch. That'll miss. Let's take a look back at the runner at third base here with Carr. Standing at second is Savageau and Nybakken at first here for the Eagles. Julia with the bases loaded walk for the first run of the game here for Fargo Davies. 2-1. That'll miss. It's now 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Popped up, playable. We'll see if it is for Williams, but that'll eventually run out of play. For a second there, looked like it might have possibly been kept in the yard. Make the count full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. With the payoff pitch. Out in front, but got enough of it. As we'll see, pitch number 7 of the at-bats here for the Eagles leadoff batter. The West Fargo Packers, they'll be sending 5, 6, and 7 batters with Claire Oslin to lead things up in the bottom of the second inning for West Fargo. Packers the 5 seed, Davies the 7. 3-2 pitch is going to be hit on the ground. That'll be past the glove of Klein into short center. 1 run comes in. 2 runs will come in to score. Ellie Steinlich puts the ball in play and gets rewarded with a couple of runs. Carr and Savageau will come on in. It's now 3-0 Fargo Davies. That'll be Olivia Davidson, who hit a rocket to Williams her last time up at third for the out. 8th batter to the plate here for the Eagles in the inning. As that'll miss, it's 1-0. That one just kept rolling away from Klein, and it's going to be a difficult play even at second to try to get Nybakken out if she gloved it. And once it went past her, 2 runs were for Shirley coming in. Off and running with the swing of the bat. That'll be a strike. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. So 3 runs across so far for the Eagles. And that was enough yesterday against Fargo Shanley, in which the Eagles won 4-0 against the Deacons. Here's the pitch. Popped up. This one goes to Williams. Williams will make the catch to retire the side, but the damage is done as Davies plates 3 runs in the top of the second inning. We're back with more on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. Eagles 3, Packers scoreless as we head to the second.
Take your softball or baseball skills to the next level with personalized instruction from the professional staff at the Ball Yard. Their mission is to provide area players, young and old, the opportunity to improve their skills in a professional level facility and to provide a high level of instruction to youth players to help them achieve their goals at the Ball Yard. Come and visit the one place in the Fargo-Moorhead area where it's always summer. For more information, go online to fmballyard.com. That's fmballyard.com.
Bottom of the second inning here on yourliveevent.com. Oslin, Williams, and Klein coming up here for the West Fargo Packers. For Fargo Davies, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. 3 singles and a double. They had 4 batters reaching consecutive fashion from Mann, Carr, Savageau, and Nybakken between a double, single, and a walk. The big hit that Ellie Steinlich single back up the middle, which plated 2 runs here for Fargo Davies. As Rarick will be pitching with the lead. Now moving forward here for the Eagles. Bolton in left field with Davidson in center. Nybakken in right here for Fargo Davies. We'll get to their infield after the pitch to Oslin. Oslin, this one will be a slow one. Rarick able to glove it. Goes to the first baseman. Man 1-3 on the putout. And Oslin is retired on 1 pitch. Carr at third base with Steinlich at shortstop. Muchenbaker at second with Savageau behind the plate. And this Davies team, with how Rarick is pitching, if they could make state here and beat West Fargo, they might be an interesting 4 seed. If Rarick can be in her zone of what the situation would be for either a Williston team or a Minot team upcoming next week as they play in the WDA Championship. The 1-0. This would be hitting the air. That'll go to right center field. Davidson has some time as she's able to retire Williams on 2 pitches on the fly out. And there's 2 down. Not for West Fargo. Still got time, trailing by 3. But what Shanley found it difficult yesterday afternoon against Rarick was putting quality at bats together in consecutive order of getting a walk, a single, a double from what we just saw from Davies in the top half of the third. If Rarick did give up a single or a base knock, she very rarely gave it up in consecutive order. Or just kind of couldn't pass the baton to the next batter at the plate and keep the line moving. 0-1 here to Gretchen Klein. As Klein will take this one on the inner part of the plate, it's now 1-1. Davies will have the hard to line up in the third with their 3, 4, and 5 batters with Emery Muchenbaker to lead things off in the top half of the third inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That'll miss. It's now 2-1. No awards after the qualifying games. We'll get to the awards after the championship here later today with the all-conference team. As this one runs out of the zone, now 3-1. Rarick did walk a batter and Vetter back in the first, and she's on the verge of walking Klein here in the second. 3-1 pitch in there for a strike, and it'll be our second full count here for Rarick against a Packer batter. 3 balls, 2 strikes with the payoff pitch. That'll be hit in the air down the right field line, just foul. Missed by much as Mann and Nybakken were giving chase. Rarick looking for her second strikeout here in the circle. 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming to Klein. That'll run in, strike 3. Looking in Rarick with a 3-up, 3-down second. As we make our way to the third on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard, it's Davies 3, West Fargo scoreless as we make our way to the top half of the third inning.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com, local voices from local radio.
Halstead Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neilsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argosville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
Top of the third inning here with Cole Hage and Ian Machenbacher there for Fargo Davies. Some names for Eagle fans on the boys' side. And here goes Emery. She's been a slashing hitter to left, and she flies out to the second time to Rosenthal here in this game. And there's one down, and both times on one pitch. As that'll be to Sophie Rarick. It's Sophia, but everybody calls her Sophie, so we'll call her Sophie as well. And Sophie right now will come up to the plate. 0 for 1 with the ground out so far here this afternoon. As it'll be in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Brindley Road 2 in the third innings work so far. 4 hits, all coming in that second inning. 3 runs that were earned. A walk and no strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one will miss inside. It's now going to be 1 ball and 1 strike. Rarick got the game-winning hit in the first inning against the Deacons yesterday. A RBI double that plated Muchenbaker in a 2-out fashion, and then Davies never trailed in that contest against the Deacons. This one foul back. It'll be now 1-2. Packers looking for their 13th win of the season. Fargo Davies looking for their 12th win of the year. As we also see what the state tournament appearances for both will be here in a moment. This would be hit. That'll be a slow grounder to shortstop Klein. Klein has enough time with the stretch and completes the play there by Krenz. 6-3 on the putout, and there's 2 down. If Fargo Davies can find a way to win this contest, it'll be their third state tournament appearance in program history. While for the West Fargo Packers, it would be their 16th. Here's the pitch. That'll miss for a ball. As you'll see, Mann with a double her last time up. That went to left center field, came in and scored after the bases loaded walk by Nybakken. As we'll see this, miss for ball number 2. Easy car on the on-deck circle here for the Eagles. If this third inning can continue here from the Davies perspective. Roll. 2-0 pitch is going to be hitting the air. That's the right fielder. Arneson is there, and that'll retire the side. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning here for Rowe in the circle as we make our way to the bottom of the third. Davies leads it by 3.
Due to the increase in cost of materials, cost of labor, and general inflation, plus the storm weather threats that we have in our region on a daily basis, many homes are not insured properly. Most families' biggest asset they will ever own is their home. We need to make sure we have it insured for enough. Inflation, cost of materials, cost of labor makes us work to stay on top of this. Usually the difference in premium is dollars a day to increase when needed. We get updated costs of goods and labor from area builders to input into our computer program that calculates an accurate replacement cost. With the weather in recent years, it is just scary with how many more frequent disasters are now than even 10 to 20 years ago. We need to adapt and make sure all our properties are protected because we live in the Midwest and deal with many of these scenarios.
As we make our way to the bottom of the third inning here on YourLiveEvent.com, the Packers will be sending 8, 9, and 1 batters to the plate. Fargo Davies made it to state in 2013 and 2014. If West Fargo loses, it would be historic because since it's been a sanctioned event in 2009 in the state, the West Fargo Packers have made state every season from the Eastern Dakota Conference. They've had 15 sanctioned state tournaments, not including the COVID year, which would have been 16. But West Fargo has made state every year in the EDC. So if they lose, this would be a historic feat in terms of very similar to Williston, who's never made state, now will be making state out west. There's a fly ball. That one will be hit to right. Nybakken is there, camps underneath it, and there's one down. As you'll see, Rowe and Caitlin Clackman again coming up. 9, 10, 11, 12, and you just keep on making its way through here for the West Fargo Packers, and a team that, again, has etched its name in softball history. Last state championship was 2019. They won in 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 before Minot High finally beat them. Packers won in 19, and then it's been all West ever since. Dickinson has won 3 titles in 2021, 23, 24, and Bismarck High in 2022. As this is a strike now to the pitcher. A pitcher matchup here in the bottom of the third inning. So West Fargo, again, they have just been a consistent, developing, and consistent team here in the EDC, and they put themselves for a chance again as the 5 seed to try to get there this season. No balls, 2 strikes here with Rarick. As Rarick in the circle for the Eagles, looking for the strikeout. Off speed. Saw her get Pappenfuss out on that very pitch back in the first inning on that off speed. This will now be 1 and 2. A 1-2 pitch. That'll be hit towards the Davies dugout, and we'll keep it at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nicholson Field, it jets out towards the dugouts, a little more foul room down there, and then once you get towards where the dirt meets the grass, it starts to jet back in. So a really nice angle for fans to sit up the first or the third base line. Kind of similar to the Metrodome when you're sitting up the right field side next to the big milk carton next to the baggie. They had a section or two that looked directly towards home plate. Kind of similar here at Mickelson. Here's the 2-2. As that'll miss. Now there's a generation of Twins fans that don't even know what the Metrodome was. They think that is very old school now for what Target Field has been around for 15 years already. Here's the payoff pitch. That'll miss. Will be the second walk of the game here for Rarick. She's yet to give up a hit the first time through the lineup as it goes back to a leadoff batter here with Caitlin Kackman. And with the pitcher at first base, we'll get a courtesy runner coming into the game here for the West Fargo Packers, as this one looks to be number 12 upcoming, and it will be. As Tweet will be running now at first base here for West Fargo. So for the Packers, can they get something going in consecutive order here, whether it's a couple of walks, a couple of singles against Rarick? This one will miss outside 1-0. Kackman popped out her first time up to Carr at third base. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball, it's got a nice little carry to it to left, right in front of the warning track. That is allowed out number 2 as Bolton was able to make the catch about a foot in front of the wall, and there's 2 down. Going back against Fargo Shanley, you saw in the third a walk and a single in consecutive order, but the Deacons ran themselves out of the inning. And then in the fourth, there was a single and a walk in consecutive order, and that was it. So just twice in the lineup did Rarick give up consecutive base runners, whether it was a free pass or a base knock, as we'll see an 0-1 pitch upcoming here to Pappenfuss. Chloe struck out swinging her last time up on that off-speed changeup back in inning number 1. The 0-1 pitch, that'll be hit. That'll be in front of the shortstop. Steinlich able to glove it. The play, yes. The right foot by Mann was kept on first base to retire the side 6-3 on the putout. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left. We played 3 today on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. Davies leads it by 3 on yourliveevent.com.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Say thank you to the farmers you come into contact with every day. They have chosen a career that is as much their deep passion as it is an absolute necessity for you and I. Spring is upon us, and there will be farm equipment on the roads. Give them your patience and room to do their jobs. Trust me, they would rather be off the road working in their field than dealing with traffic. From all of us here at Agassiz Precision Ag, we say thank you and have a safe spring.
It's the North Dakota All-Star Gathering on your live event, as we'll cover the Shields Softball All-Star Series on June 2nd and 3rd.
This will be hit and over the shortstop Berg into left center field. A run comes in to score with Alexander Rath.
Optimist Volleyball Series June 16th and 17th.
Blue outside Linsinger with another hammer.
Plus, the Lions All-Star Basketball Series on July 14th and 15th.
Baldwin finds Wick. Wick open, three-pointer coming. Yes, sir!
For more information, go to yourliveevent.com.
Carr, Savageau, and Neinbach can go to DJ Coulter Agency, your home auto, life, business, and farm insurance agency. Go to djcoulter.com. As djcoulter.com, they want a shot at your business. 0-1 on the way here to Carr, who swung and missed. Well, for Roche, he's retired 4 consecutive batters here for the West Fargo Packers in the circle. Carr, Savageau, and Neibachen. As this one will work outside. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike in a game that's just over 35 minutes old here today in Fargo. Top of the 4th inning, 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. This one will go foul. It's now going to be 1-2. Following the conclusion of this game, we'll hear from a victorious player of the winning team. Also from there, we'll get to our player of the game. Get you ready for game number 2, which will be an all-West Fargo affair with Horace and Cheyenne. The 1-2 offering. So from the West Fargo Public School District, there'll either be 2 teams that'll be at state in Grand Forks next week, or 1. Similar when it comes to the Fargo Public School District, if Davies can win. North has already clinched their ticket to state, as this one's popped up. The shortstop, Klein, does a nice job going down the line for the pop-out. And there is 1 down here as we open up the top of the 4th inning. Now it's going to be Micah Savageau, the 7th grader, here for the Eagles. The difference so far in this game has been the 2nd inning, where Davies sent 8 batters to the plate, scored 3 runs on 4 hits, and they left 2 runners on base. That has been the reason why the Eagles have the current lead, as there's a hot shot to left. Rounding first is going to be Savageau. She's on for her second time with a single, and the Eagles trying to get something going here in the top of the fourth inning. Julia Nybakken with the walk, her last time up, and the only run at the time that was driven in to make it a 1-0 lead for Fargo Davies. They would get 2 extra runs by Ellie Steinlicht. 2 RBI single. Here's the pitch upcoming to Nybakken. As Nybakken will see this go for a ball. It's now 1-0. As Pappenfuss trying to keep the runner close at first base. Well, 3 runs was enough yesterday for Rarick. Eventually, 1 run would have been enough as they shut out Fargo Shanley. So far for Rarick, just in these 2 games here at Mickelson, 10 innings of work for the Eagles starter, and she's given up no runs and just 2 hits in 10 innings of work so far here at Mickelson. Here's the 1-1. That'll miss low for a ball, now 2-1. EDC baseball will also wrap up here later today, as we will find out the State A tournament between the EDC and the WDA. State track and field will also conclude a little bit later on. Here's the pitch, swing and miss. It's now 2-2. The game's scheduled for today again for baseball. Qualifiers with Horace and West Fargo, Red River and South, and Davies and Cheyenne in the EDC championship. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. This will be popped up. Pappenfuss, does she see it? Yes, she does, for the out, and there's 2 down. Kind of looked up, and Roy immediately pointed up, and she was able to locate the softball, and there's 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning. Reese Dietrich 0 for 1 with the line drive that went to Klein, which almost was a double play back in the 2nd inning for the out. That's short. That goes back to the top of the lineup here for the Eagles. First pitch swinging. This one will go foul. It'll be 0-1. Once we hear any results from West Fargo, we'll keep you apprised of that here as well. Similar to any results making its way out in the WDA for softball once those results come in. No balls and a strike here to Dietrich. This would be a slow roller, able to play her position as row, and that'll reach to the other side. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We play 3.5 today on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. Davies leads it by 3.
The Rumble on the Red, presented by Ellingson Companies and Gerdau Metals Recycling, is coming to West Fargo, North Dakota. The World of Outlaws non-energy drink sprint cars come to the Red River Valley Speedway on Saturday, May 31st. Tickets are available now at slspromotions.com or by calling 815-344-2023.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Bottom of the 4th inning here on YourLiveEvent.com on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. It's a 3-0 lead for the Fargo Davies Eagles over the West Fargo Packers. As we'll have the 3, 4, and 5 batters due up here for West Fargo. This one will miss for a ball. It's 1-0. Update for you from EDC Baseball. Top of the 7th inning, West Fargo Horace 6, the West Fargo Packers 1. As the Horace Hawks right now lead it by 5. And West Fargo in baseball down to their final 3 outs of the game. Otherwise, the Hawks will be making their way to state. 1 ball, 1 strike on the way here to Vetter. Vetter walked the count full her last time up for the senior designated player. Here's the 1-1 offering here from Selfie. That'll miss. Now 2-1. 3 balls no on the way, so 3 balls, no strikes, excuse me. Here's the pitch. Oh, it's a strike to make it 3-1. Just 2 base runners in this game for Rarick. And she's had to contend with a walk again of Vetter and a walk of Rowe. As this one will now be a walk of Vetter yet again. Still has yet to give up a hit, just 3 over the minimum. Now it's Kendall Krenz. And here's the similar theme of what we said against Fargo Shanley and what we're starting to say here again with Rarick in the circle for the West Fargo Packers is, can you put something in consecutive order going right now and put the ball in play? They've done a better job on putting the ball in play after Rarick had 9 strikeouts yesterday. She's gotten 2 so far here today, but hasn't been consistent hard contact somewhere. Best hit of the game was a Kackman fly ball to left where Bolton was about a foot away from the fence to make a grab at it. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Rarick right now in control in that circle. 1-1, that'll miss. It's now 2-1. As the senior first baseman Krenz flew out to the center fielder Davidson. This one will be lashed in the air to left field coming on, and this one will be off the glove of Bolton as she tried to come with it. Do they get the run? Yes, they do. So a fielder's choice as Vetter was looking at the softball. You got to play it a little bit of halfway, but unfortunate there for Vetter as she's going to be out. So Bolton to Steinlicht, and Krenz will reach base, but it will be 1 out. Tough one there from a Packer perspective as he put one in play and had a chance to get runners at first and second. As this will miss inside for a ball, it will now be 1-0. But Bolton did a good job, even though she didn't glove it right away. She was able to stay with it, make a nice throw to Machenbaker, covering at second base to record the out. Batter number 3 here of the inning, Claire Oslin, the sophomore, grounded out to Rarick her last time up. And also see the pitch. This would be scolded right in front of the left fielder this time. That's down for a base hit. So Krenz will take second, Oslin will take first, and that's the first hit of the game here for the West Fargo Packers as they will bring the tying run to the plate with Brooklyn Williams. As Williams will come on here, the pitch. That'll miss inside for a ball. It's now 1-0. Perfect chance for the Packers to try to get back into this contest. A shot that'll go foul up the first base side will be 1-1. You got runners on. West Fargo left a runner in the first and a runner in the third. For Fargo Davies, they've left 3 runners on so far through 4 innings. The Eagles, 3 runs, 4 hits. They have yet to commit an error with 3 runners left on base. The Packers, no runs, a hit. They have yet to commit an error, and they've left 2 runners on base so far. As this one's laced right back up the middle, that'll go to center. Davidson will play it there as well as a hot shot as Krenz had to take a step back before going forward. Back-to-back base hits here for the Packers, and they got the bases full here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Krenz to third, Oslin to second, and now it's going to be Gretchen Klein. Klein struck out looking her last time up as the infield kind of looks towards the dugout for Davies on do they want to play in or play in their standard spots. As this will work inside for a ball, it's 1-0. You see Mann playing a couple of feet off the bag at first and also in. While the third baseman and Carr will try to keep the runner close at third in Krenz. It'll be ball 2 and now 2-0. Packers had a runner on in the first inning with 2 outs. A runner on in the third inning with 1 out. First time today they've had runners in scoring position against Rarick. As this will also work. It's now 3 balls, no strikes. Here to the number 7 batter and the freshman shortstop in Klein. The 3-0 pitch. Taken all the way. It's a bases loaded walk. And West Fargo gets on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. It's now 3-1. Krenz will come in and score. Oslin goes to third base. Williams stands at second. Klein at first. And now the go-ahead run stands at first base here for West Fargo. Jordan Rosenthal will be coming up 0 for 1 with the flyout and goes right back to what we were saying earlier. Could you string a couple of batters together, whether it was singles, walks, just something? And the answer is yes here for West Fargo in the 4th inning. A walk, a reach base on a fielder's choice by Krenz, a single by Oslin, a single by Williams, and a bases loaded walk here for Gretchen Klein as the Packers are threatening to tie this game or possibly take a lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jordan Rosenthal with the flyout her last time up to Nybakken and right. Winner of this game has another week of softball left in them. The loser has their year come to a close. Rosenthal will take a strike. It's 0-1. Jordan flew out to the right fielder her last time up. Then it goes to Rowe and back to the top of the lineup with Kackman here, who's in the hole. Packers would love to bring Caitlin to the plate. That means another run at least will be coming in. Big swing and a miss. It's now 0-2. Well, if you're Rarick, you don't want to see Kackman here in this inning, because that means you'll get this batter out of Rosenthal and trying to do the same of Rowe on the on-deck circle. No balls, 2 strikes. Rarick sees this one popped up, and that'll be foul. At 0-2. Able to fist that one off was Rosenthal. As we'll have the 0-2 pitch up coming again. Oslin at third. Williams at second. Klein at first. 0-2 is hit in the air. That has a chance as this one will go back. Bolton is there. The lead runner will take up with Oslin. It's a quality, productive out. That one sounded good off the bat as Bolton had to take a couple of steps back. It's a sacrifice fly. Oslin will come in and score. It's a 3-2 contest as West Fargo Packers are able to plate a run here on the sacrifice fly. Both teams will trade us an out if you're Davies for a run from the Packer perspective, as now it's going to be 0-1 as Davies still is playing with the lead, and you're 1 out away from minimizing the damage to 2 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 0-1. This would be grounded up the third base line, but that'll be a foul ball. Rarick has given up 2 singles in this inning. Couple of runs so far. As we'll see the number 9 batter right now with Rowe, trying to see if she can get on base and bring the leadoff batter and Kackman to the plate in the bottom of the 4th inning. Is Rarick with the pitch. That'll go all the way to the backstop off the glove of Savageau, and the runners will move up on the wild pitch. And now a base hit in the outfield definitely ties the game, if not gives the Packers the lead. Here's the 1-2 offering. This will be in play. The first baseman. Oh, what a basket catch by Mann. Mann with the little Willie Mays Hayes play there at first base in foul territory to retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 runs come across on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base, but the Packers are able to strike for 2. We got a new score on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. It's 3-2 Eagles on your liveevent.com.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Top of the fifth inning, first pitch swinging. Steinlicht, it's now going to be 0-1. Final for you in EDC baseball, a little bit ahead when they got going here earlier today. West Fargo, Horace defeats the West Fargo Packers 6-1 in the EDC baseball tournament. So the Packers season comes to a close in baseball. Well, the Hawks will be making their way to Grand Forks for the state baseball tournament. As we'll see where the EDC baseball tournament, how that's been able to play out throughout the course of this week. Here's a shot that'll go to left, right off the left fielder's glove of Rosenthal. Going from first to second is Ellie Steinlicht, and she's in, now in scoring position. As Davies will get a runner on here to begin the top of the fifth inning. It was a line drive, but Rosenthal was there, had a chance to camp underneath it, and then by the time she moved the glove up, just went off the top of her gloves. So tough one from a Packer perspective, while from an Eagle perspective, trying to get at least a run or two back here in the top of the fifth as this one misses to Davidson. It's now 1-0. Horace, the 2 seed, lost the 7 seed of Cheyenne earlier in the tournament, 7-3 in baseball, as Cheyenne will play Davies later in the championship. South and Red River will play in a EDC baseball state qualifier. That one is about to get underway out in West Fargo. We'll see 2 balls, no strikes here to Davidson, who's 0 for 2 today. She will hit one. That'll go to the second baseman, Oslin. About as best as you could have done if you're not sacrificing a bunt for a productive out there. You move the runner up 60 feet. No taken out. Davidson 4-3 on the putout, as now it's to Muchenbaker. 5 hits against Rose so far. Emery has first pitch swung and hit both down the left field line to Rosenthal, who is shading down the left field line. As this will miss for a ball. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0 offering. Fly ball that'll be hit in the air to center. Kackman is there. They'll tag the runner at third. Steinlicht will come home. It's a sacrifice fly, and the Eagles get a run back here in the top of the fifth inning. Productive out by Davidson, just small ball variety. Put the ball in play all 3 times against Rowan. They get rewarded with a run coming in, as now Davies takes a 4-2 lead. So the air comes back and haunts the Packers here in the fifth. This will be hit on the ground. Klein is there. Klein fields it, scoops. And speaking of a scoop, this one will go out of her glove by Krenz. As you had the throw by Klein, would have had the runner out in Rarick at first, as we'll see a courtesy runner coming in. Number 12 here for the Eagles coming into the game. As this would be Morganroth. Clean throw that easily gets Rarick, but instead bounce, and Krenz nearly was able to glove it, but when the glove and the ball came up off the dirt, the ball just bobbled just a skosh, and the runner gets on base here for Fargo Davies. As we'll see this one, I will miss out of the zone. Elman with a double and a run scored. She scored the first run of the game for either club back in the second inning. As we take a look at the defensive alignment, the pitch, this one will be hit in the air. That'll go to right center field. Kackman giving chase. Kackman can't make the play in center. Getting picked up is Ayerson. She will make the throw, coming in to score, and it will be a 5-2 Eagles lead. Kackman gave it all that she could on the slide out there, trying to make the diving play. But once it got by Kackman, Arneson was able to make the backup play, but off and running with 2 outs in particular. That allowed the runner at first base again with Morgenroth to be off and running with the hit. And now it's 5-2 Eagles. So the Eagles get the 2 runs back here in the top of the 5th inning. And it's now 5-2. Good piece of contact there by Mann to drive in a run. As Morgenroth will come in and score. First pitch swinging. This one is going to be popped up by Maisie Carr into foul territory, and that'll retire the Eagles. This Carr is retired on 1 pitch. But 2 runs do come across for the Eagles on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. As you do get the single on the way by Mann, but a couple of errors on the particular here in this one, and there was a run left on base here with Elman. As we make our way to the bottom of the 5th, it's a new score, 5-2 Davies here on your liveevent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Bottom of the 5th inning here on yourliveevent.com as we will see the West Fargo Packers coming up to the plate. As they will see Kackman, Pappenfuss, and Vetter here for West Fargo. So West Fargo scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th, only to see Davies score 2 runs in the top of the 5th. As again, Caitlin Kackman coming up here for the West Fargo Packers. Kackman 0 for 2 here today. A senior here for West Fargo, part of the Shield Softball All-Star Series. Coming up a week and a half from now, Kackman is able to lace one into left center field. She'll round first, on her way to second. Kackman will be up with a leadoff double here for the West Fargo Packers. Runner aboard here for West Fargo as now it's Chloe Pappenfuss. As she will come up, 1 pitch, 1 hit, and a double at that for Kackman. As the number 2 batter and the sophomore catcher here for West Fargo with Pappenfuss to the plate. West Fargo Packers, they'll see this and the pitch. That'll miss low for a ball. It's now 1-0. So Caitlin Kackman gets a runner on here. The Packers will be threatening here in the 5th. As that'll work out of the zone, it's 2-0. Now we get to the point of the game where you start counting outs, as West Fargo has got 9 outs left in them. On the flip side, Davies 9 outs away from their first state tournament appearance since 2014. Here's the 2-0. Hit on the line. That's going to be a base hit to left. Bolton will play it. They'll move up 60 feet. The throw will come back into man, and the Packers won't be, and the Eagles won't see what the time called, as between first and second there was Chloe Pappenfuss. As she makes her way from first to second, as man had it, but there was never a time call to give it back to the pitcher. So the Packers now will have runners at second and third, as we'll give Kackman a double. Pappenfuss gets the single. And she rounded first on her way to second, and she was waiting to kind of see what the particular were going to be, but just man never saw her halfway off the bag. And just like that, the Packers threatening here in the 5th. As this will miss low to Vetter. Grace Vetter has been a thorn in Rarick's side. She has worked the count full with a walk. She worked the count to 3 balls and earned a walk. As we'll see the 1-0 pitch upcoming here from Rarick. This one will be gloved, nicely done by Savageau to make sure that didn't get all the way to the backstop. It's now 2-0 with Kendo Krenz on the on-deck circle. But with 3 batters, the Packers have the tying run at the plate here in the 5th inning. 2-0, that'll run out of the zone now, 3-0. Davies 3 runs in the second, 2 runs in the top half of the 5th. West Fargo, their lone 2 runs came back in the bottom of the 4th inning, where they sent 7 batters to the plate here against Rarick. A 3-0, taking all the way, called the strike now, 3-1. Still 2 more games yet to go here today. We'll get West Fargo Horace and West Fargo Cheyenne, and then the EDC Championship around 5 o'clock with Red River and Fargo North. The 3-1 here to Vetter. Vetter hits one high in the air. That'll go to center. Davidson, right in front of the warning track, will make the catch. They have a chance to get the secondary runner out, and they do. They get the sacrifice fly to come in with Kackman, but Pappenfuss is retired. Davidson to Steinlich to Carr, 8-6-5, and Pappenfuss is retired at third base. So nobody on with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And if you're Davies, you'll gladly take that run for a double play here in the bottom of the 5th. It's the reason why you hit the cutoff man, as Pappenfuss retired at third. Here's the pitch. I'll be in there for a strike to Krenz. 1 ball, 1 strike on the way. And the pitch. Foul tipped since 1-2, but from the Packer perspective, they do at least get 1 run across. And more importantly, you're going to get Kackman and Pappenfuss back up at least for another swing potentially here, with Kackman for sure 1 more time in this game. Here's the 1-2. That'll work inside. Circle that play at home as possibly our precision egg play of the contest. If Davies can win this game and win by a run or 2, that could be the difference maker, that double play at third. Here's a fly ball. That's in the air. Davidson sees a swirl and tail away from her, but makes a nice play to retire the side. There was 1 run on 2 hits, no errors and nobody left. We played 5 today on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. A new score, 5-3 in favor of the Eagles.
World of Outlaws late models return to the Norman County Raceway, Ada, Minnesota, June 28th. Ada Building Center LLC start to finish showdown. Presented by R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. Enjoy the experience. Nationwide top 10 experience last year. Let's make it number 1 this year. World of Outlaws late models, Ada Building Center LLC start to finish showdown. Presented by R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. Tickets now available, ncraceway.com.
As we make our way to the top of the 6th inning, it is going to be a 5-3 contest, as now runs have been aplenty here in the 4th and the 5th innings. 5 runs combined between the Eagles and the Packers. West Fargo back within 2. Savageau, Nybakken, and Dietrich. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 batters here to the plate for the Fargo Davies Eagles. Savageau 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles and a run scored. First pitch swinging, this one will go foul. It's 0-1. Rose so far in the circle, 5 innings of work. She's given up 6 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, and 0 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Foul again. It's now 0-2. EDC softball here today from Mickelson Field. As Pappenfuss right now behind the plate, trying to see if she can get that last strike from her teammate Rowe. Instead, Savageau spoils another pitch on a foul ball. It's now 0-2. Here's the 0-2 offering. Hit in the air. That one will also go foul. Congratulations goes out to the State A girls 100-meter state champ in Michelle G of West Fargo High. Ties an overall record of an 11.97. Girls Class A 100 meters goes to Michelle G of West Fargo. As that'll hit her. And she'll take first base to Savageau on the free bag. As now you'll have Julia Nybach in. Also from Fargo Davies in the Class A 300-meter hurdle state champion is Kate Lockway of the Fargo Davies Eagles. So Lockway again will be the state champ in the girls 300. I'll see some different championships coming on in. A final out west, Bismarck High all over Jamestown, 10-0. The Demons are heading to the state tournament. That's been a lot of 10-run rules out in the WDA. As this will work a ball for Nybakken, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Again, Bismarck High over Jamestown, 10-0 in 5 innings. Here's the pitch to Nybakken. Popped up. That'll be in the air to center. Kackman giving a good chase for it. Able to get there. There's one down. Now it goes to Dietrich. As Bismarck High was the number 4 seed. Dickinson and Mandan playing here in the championship. In another state qualifier. If Mandan wins, Bismarck would be the 3. If Dickinson wins, they would eventually then be the 4. As this one's going to be an opposite field base knock here into right for Dietrich. Going to second base will be Savageau. And runners will be at first and second now with one down. So the state tournament slowly starting to come together. 3 teams in the WDA, Williston, Minot, and Bismarck. Either Dickinson or Mandan will join them. Here's the pitch on the way to the leadoff batter. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. Ellie today with 2 runs driven in, a run scored, has reached base twice, is 1 of 3 so far at the plate. As fans for Horace and alongside West Fargo Cheyenne patiently await the conclusion of this outcome. Fly ball, that'll go up the first base dugout side foul. It's 0-2. 4th batter to the plate here for Fargo Davies in a game that's an hour and 10 minutes old here in this one. (5-3) Eagles. This will be hit on the ground. Williams going to try to glove it, and rounding third and staying there, as it'll be an error on the play, as you'll give Savageau to third, Dietrich to second. Steinlicht will reach base. Bases will be full here in the top of the 6th inning. Now it's to Olivia Davidson. You're taking your momentum as a third baseman, trying to cut in front of the shortstop to make the play at first, but by the time Williams bobbled the softball, no doubt about it, Steinlicht was going to reach base. As we'll see this one work out of the zone, it's 1-0, and even if it does go to Klein just with Ellie's speed, I'm not sure if you would have maybe got the runner at first regardless, but the Eagles threatening here in the top of the 6th inning. That'll work out the zone. It's now 2-0. So after 2 runs in the top of the 5th, what can Davies do here in the top of the 6th inning? Davidson 0 for 3 today in the number 2 spot in the lineup. That'll go foul, now 2-1. As the Eagles try to make it to state for the 3rd time in program history. More importantly, right now, looking for some insurance runs already here in the top of the 6th. As we've seen the Packers, the later this game has went on against Rarick, starting to time her up a little bit better and put the ball in play themselves. I'll work low. It's now 3-1. Savage, after hit by a pitch, stands at third. Dietrich with a single stands at second, and Ellie just stands at first. The 3-1 offering to the junior center fielder. That'll work for a ball. The second time today, the Davies have loaded the bases and earned a bases loaded walk. It's 6-3 Eagles. As Davidson gets the run driven in, coming in to score will be Savageau. Dietrich makes her way to third, and Steinlicht will now be at second base, and there's still just one down with Muchenbaker and Rarick, two dangerous batters coming up here for the Eagles. For Fargo Davies, you'll have a chance to separate right now here in this contest with the junior, which is a little bit almost of a slashing style of hitter towards left. 6 batters here in the inning so far for Fargo Davies. Once we get to the bottom of the 6th, it'll be Oslin, Williams, and Gretchen Klein. 5, 6, and 7 batters due up for the West Fargo Packers. But right now, a run across so far for the Eagles, top of the 6th on the DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, that'll go to left. Rosenthal is there, makes the catch. The take here by Dietrich. Here's the throw, not going to be in time, and it will be a sacrifice fly for Davies. 7-3 Eagles with 2 down here in the 6th. So Emery with another sacrifice fly. That'll be another run scored here for the Eagles as Dietrich comes in. And now it's Rarick. Eagles lead it by 4 here in the 6th. This will be a slow ground ball. That'll go to Klein. Klein goes the short way to Williams as Rarick will be retired to retire the side, but not before 2 runs come across here for Davies in the top of the 6th, and they do leave 2 runners left. As we make our way to the bottom of the 6th inning,
Safe to say we have it pretty good in the Drayton, North Dakota area. Growing sugar beets, making sugar, bringing a little sweetness to the world. Every day, American Crystal Sugar produces sweet products people love in a place we love to call home. It's a thing we like to call the sweet life, and we're proud to share it with you. American Crystal Sugar's Drayton facility has recently started offering a $4 per hour shift differential for rotating shifts. Go to AmericanCrystalCareers.com for more information.
still to come, we'll get to our post-game show brought to you in part by Norman County Raceway and the Red River Valley Speedway here today. Racing on the radio. You can tune in on 106.5 FM, KRJB. That and more coming up here throughout the summer months. Also Thursday night races at Norman County Raceway. Also, if you're a fan of Donnie Schatz and the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, they'll be making their way into town on May the 31st. So just in Fargo, you'll have the State B baseball, softball that weekend, and Donnie Schatz later on that Saturday night at the fairgrounds out in West Fargo. That's still to come a little bit later on here on your liveevent.com. These two have gone back and forth. West Fargo cut it to a one-run deficit after 4 innings trailing 3-2. The Eagles responded with 2 runs in the top half of the 5th to take a 5-2 lead. West Fargo came back with a run in the bottom of the 5th to make it 5-3, and now the Eagles lead at 7-3. As you'll see, Oslin, Williams, and Klein coming up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Rarick, 5 innings of work so far, 3 runs against. As this one works inside for a ball. Oslin with a single and a run scored her last time up. 4 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts here for Rarick so far in this contest. I'll also work inside 2-1. 4 batters to plate in the first, a 3-up, 3-down second. 4 batters in the third, 7 in the fourth, and they had 4 in the 5th, but West Fargo kind of ran themselves out of the inning. That could have been a little bit more prosperous from their perspective. Right now, the Packers have found ways to get base runners on against Rarick as West Fargo is down to their final 6 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 balls, no strikes. That'll be in there for a strike as Claire was about ready to flip the bat towards the third base dugout. Here's the 3-1 pitch upcoming. Hit in the air. That'll go straight away center and dive and go underneath the glove of Davidson. Going to first, it'll be a base knock. It got just enough of the glove to not go all the way to the wall. If that would have went to the wall, Oslin would have easily had second. It's a leadoff single here for the Packers sophomore. And West Fargo gets a runner on here in the 6th inning. Now it's to Brooklyn Williams, who singled her last time up, had a fly out to Davidson in center. First pitch swinging, this one will go foul. It's 0-1. Davidson has been kept busy today here for the Eagles, and center fielder, she shades a little bit towards left center. And the left fielder in Bolton playing a little bit more down the line and left, so if you're Williams, you hit one in the air. Got a little gap to where the normal left fielder would be, or right center. This one foul back. It's 0-2. Titus calling balls and strikes. Chad Mears and Craig Hahn, again, our umpiring crew in the infield. No balls, 2 strikes. Here to the freshman third baseman, Rarick, with the 0-2. This is going to be hitting the gap. That goes to left center field, but with that shade that we talked about by Davidson in the right spot, it'll be one down. If she was in straightaway center, that probably would have been a hit. Instead, it's just a routine fly out, and there's one down. Gretchen Klein struck out looking in the second, walked on 4 pitches in the 4th. Part of 3 walks today that Rarick has given up, the other 2 to Grace Vetter. This one will be foul back. It's 0-1. As this game started a little bit before the noon hour, next game still probably roughly about 2 o'clock, give or take, how the remainder of this inning and a half wraps up. There's a bunt up the third base line. That'll go foul. We'll have our second state qualifying game. If West Fargo could come back and win, they could either be the 3 or the 4 seed. If Davies wins this, they know they will play at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday as the East number 4. Here's the 0-2. Foul tipped. This one will go off a Savage Zone. We'll keep it here at 0-2. EDC baseball tournament earlier. West Fargo Horse with a 6-1 win over the West Fargo Packers. So the West Fargo baseball season comes to a close. South and Red River playing in another state qualifying, and then it's Davies and Cheyenne later today at Young Field in West Fargo. That championship game scheduled for a 3 o'clock first pitch in baseball. The 0-2 off-speed changeup out of the zone. It's 1-2. Probably seen that pitch about 4, maybe 5 times today by Rarick. Showing you it just enough. Here's the 1-2. Foul back. You got to know that it's there, but you can't really sit on it either, because it's not like she's throwing it every third pitch by any stretch of the imagination. Good battle here between Klein and Rarick. This will be hit on the ground, a slow roller. That'll go to Steinlich. She gets 1, a chance for 2 in time for the twin killing. Oh, what a play by the senior. 6-4 double play to retire the Packers here in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Steinlich maybe just with the play of the contest there here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll continue with more as we head to the 7th on your liveevent.com.
Softball or baseball skills to the next level with personalized instruction from the professional staff at the Ball Yard. Their mission is to provide area players, young and old, the opportunity to improve their skills in a professional level facility and to provide a high level of instruction to youth players to help them achieve their goals at the Ball Yard. Come and visit the one place in the Fargo-Moorhead area where it's always summer. For more information, go online to fmballyard.com. That's fmballyard.com.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Top of the 6th inning, Davies 3 outs away from a historic feat as this will be hit in the air. That's going to split the gap, and that's going to be a ringing double here for Mann. Mann will round first. Here's a throw by Kackman, and she will slide in there safely. Kackman made it a little bit closer than what it looked like off the bat, but Mann with a double, her second extra base hit of the contest, and the Eagles have a runner in scoring position. And we'll have a courtesy runner coming on. Looks like number 3 here for Fargo Davies, as we'll see this coming through. Powell, the 8th grader, will come in for Mann. A good inside-out swing to get into right center field, and there's nobody down here in the top of the 7th inning. And as we were saying earlier in the broadcast, the historic feat would be the first time since 2014 that Davies has made state, the 3rd time in program history, as this is just a pop and off the glove of the second baseman, Oslin, as it looked like Oslin, Klein, and Roll were all going to come in and possibly converge and hit one another, as that one will go off the glove and you get a runner at first and second now. But West Fargo, since it's been sanctioned in the state for softball, since softball again has been sanctioned in the state in North Dakota in 2009, West Fargo has made every state tournament appearance. As they're going to ask to see if she went, she did not. It's now 1-0. Savageau's been on base all 3 times, a pair of singles and a hit by pitch. Davies, the 7 seed, the Packers, the 5 seed, here in this state qualifying matchup. Swing and a miss. Now 1-1. Looking at West Fargo seniors of Grace Vetter, Caitlin Kackman, Kendall Krenz. And then it's all underclassmen after that, so a very youthful team this season here for West Fargo. The 1-1. Able to get that one. Now it's 1-2. Davies, 3 runs in the 2nd, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and they're trying to add to that here in the 7th. As West Fargo has been knocking on the door the last couple innings in their own right for a bigger inning if possible. This will be filleted into right. That'll drop for a base knock. Going station to station. Just put the end of the bat on that one, and she able to shoot it over Oslin to right. That'll be a single on the way for Savageau. She gets on board for her 4th time today. And the Eagles with the bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. As Nybakken will be coming on. The pitch popped up. Pappenfuss gives way to Krenz, or will it be Pappenfuss? Nope, Chloe makes the catch. For second thought, we might see a repeat of what we saw just moments ago. Instead, there'll be a big first out here from the Packer point of view, as the Eagles will bring Reese Dietrich to the plate, who's 1 of 3 with a single and a run scored here today. She hit a rocket her last time up here for Dietrich, then back to the top of the lineup. Swinging at this one, this will go to Klein. They're trying to get the lead runner there. They do. Nice play by the shortstop, Klein, to Pappenfuss. Dietrich will reach base on a fielder's choice. Powell is retired at home. Carr at 3rd and Savageau at 2nd base, and there's 2 down. As now you'll see Ellie Steinlicht. Steinlicht today has reached base 3 times, a single, a couple of errors, a run scored with 2 runs driven in here for Ellie. Ellie will take a strike. It's 0-1. For the West Fargo Packers, in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be 8, 9, and 1 batters due up. This will be hit high in the air. That'll go to center. Kackman will cut the gap, and that'll retire the Eagles here in the 7th inning. They leave the bases loaded here in the 7th and score no runs across. As we make our way to the bottom of the 7th inning, it's Davies 7, West Fargo 3.
Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neillsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argusville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
Bottom of the 7th inning here. The Eagles 3 outs away from making their way up to Albrecht Field at UND in Grand Forks for the state softball tournament, while the Packers 3 outs away from their season coming to a close if they're unable to score at least 4 runs, as we'll have a re-enter into the game here for the Fargo Davies Eagles just from that courtesy runner with Powell. As you'll see, Rarick looking to go the distance. She's gone 6 innings in the circle. She has given up 5 hits, 3 runs with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts so far here in this contest. Rosenthal, Brinley Rowe, and Caitlin Kackman due up here for West Fargo. So just trying to be table setters and see if he can bring Pappenfuss, Vetter, and Krenz to the plate for West Fargo. Packers 2 runs in the 4th inning, a run in the 5th. Some of the Eagles fans on their feet in anticipation of what possibly could be. First pitch swinging, this one his in the air to right. Nybakken is there, and there's one down. Fly out to the right fielder. Now it's to Brinley Rowe. Rowe with a walk. 0 for 1 at the plate today here for West Fargo. Rarick 1 pitch, 1 out. As Rowe will take a ball, it's now 1-0. Most batters that West Fargo has sent in an inning in the 4th was 7, where they scored 2 runs on 2 hits and they left 2 runners on base. As this one will miss 2-0. All about just finding ways to get aboard here for West Fargo. The 8th grader Rowe against the freshman Rarick. Here's the 2-0 pitch. As laced in, that'll be down and underneath the right fielder Nybakken. Rounding first on her way to second. That'll be a single with an error to go to second base as Rowe will be in scoring position. Nybakken was there, just went through the 5-hole. And now the Packers get a runner on here in the 7th inning with Caitlin Kackman, who laced a double to left center field, as we'll have a courtesy runner, number 12 here for the West Fargo Packers coming on. And Tweet. Kackman, 1 of 3 today with a run scored here for West Fargo. Kackman, first pitch swinging, hits one to left. That one has a little carry to it, and that'll go foul. Bolton had to try to play the fence and down the line, as that'll be a foul ball. She had about maybe a foot of real estate before the chain link fence. Kackman then was also nearly hit a home run back in the 3rd inning that was going to the scoreboard in left field, and Bolton about a foot in front of the outfield made the catch. Here's the pitch. As that one will work outside. It's now 1-1. So after a walk, Kackman will try to do something similar here, or at least find a way to get on base. This will be hit in the air. That'll go to center. Davidson can't see it as it goes off the wall. Kackman rounding first, on her way to second, and Steinlich just didn't see her, as they probably would have had Kackman out potentially at second base, but instead Kackman is able to get into second. She nearly hits a home run, misses it by about a foot, and runners at second and third. So Tweet at third base, Kackman will be at second, and the tying run is on the on-deck circle here for the West Fargo Packers. Chloe Pappenfuss will work this one for a ball. It's 1-0. It says North Softball out in left center, and it pretty much hit the top of where the lettering would be. About another foot, we'd be talking about a 2-run homer. This will be popped up. Mann will see this one as she will play it in foul territory off her glove. So the Packers catch a break here in the 7th. What would have been 2 down is now just a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike on the way as Pappenfuss gets some new life. Singled her last time up, as this one will now be 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike here to the number 2 batter in the Packer lineup with Grace Vetter on the on-deck circle. This will run in. That goes foul. It's 2-2. Again, West Fargo has made state every year since it's been sanctioned since 2009. The Packers have been a staple with 15 state tournament appearances and 10 championships to boot. The pitch, that'll work outside. It's now 3-2. Full count on the way. Edge of your seat, kind of a state qualifying game here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The 3-2. That'll miss for a ball, and the tying run comes to the plate with Grace Vetter. Base is full here for the Packers as we'll get a little meeting on the mound. We said they needed base runners, and they've gotten base runners here in the bottom of the 7th inning as Grace Vetter with 2 walks and a sacrifice fly so far here today in the number 3 hole for West Fargo. As the Packers are making this just a little bit more interesting on our DJ Coulter Agency scoreboard. And right now the runners at 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. You don't want to say there's a defensive indifference or don't matter, but it's all about the batter at the plate now for Rarick. Vetter will take a ball. This one will make its way. Now they got the runners in a pickle here as throwing behind her. Carr will then go to Rarick. Rarick will give this one to Steinlicht, who's trying to apply the tag, and they do, and they get the out. Tough one if you're West Fargo, as you'll give up an out, and now the tying run for the Packers stands in the on-deck circle. So runner is out at 3rd. There's going to be 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th, as Tweet will be retired at 3rd for West Fargo. This one will work, and that'll go all the way to the backstop. As the runners will move up now, it'll be 2-0 here to Grace Vetter. A tough one for West Fargo. They've quite frankly have ran themselves out of a couple of innings here the last couple innings where they possibly could have maybe got another run or 2 across. They still got a chance here. They still got 1 out to work with and a 3-0 count. So Vetter will try to do what Pappenfuss did, find a way to get aboard and bring the tying run by the name of Kendall Krenz to the plate. A 3-0 pitch will be in there for a strike. It's 3-1. Wild pitch comes back and is productive for the Eagles. But then the next one, you'll see runners again at 2nd and 3rd. 3-1 pitch. That'll work a ball. And we'll have the tying runner come to the plate yet again. Fifth walk of the game, as now it's to Kendall Krenz. Krenz with a couple of flyouts to Davidson today is 0 for 3 with a run scored. As Rarick missing on the outer part of the plate, it's 1-0. I say in baseball and softball, the last out's the toughest to get. As Rarick falls behind again, another Packer batter. The 1-0 is delivered for a strike. It's 1-1. Runner at 3rd is Kackman. Pappenfuss at 2nd. Vetter stands at 1st. Here's the 1-1 offering. Hit in the air. This is popped up. Steinlicht is there. Steinlicht sees it. She gloves it. And the Eagles are heading to state for the 3rd time in program history and the first since 2014 with a 7-3 win over the West Fargo Packers. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left on base in a game that goes final today at 1:31. That takes 1 hour and 36 minutes. Fargo Davies with the win. They will play at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday against the West champion. Well, for the West Fargo Packers, for the first time in program history, will not make the state tournament. We'll make our way to the Norman County Raceway, Red River Valley Speedway post-game show. The Packers finish the season at 12-19. Well, for Fargo Davies, They will be 12-12 and be the 4 seed in the East upcoming here on Thursday. We'll take a quick break. We're back with more after this on your LiveEvent.com.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Say thank you to the farmers you come into contact with every day. They have chosen a career that is as much their deep passion as it is an absolute necessity for you and I. Spring is upon us and there will be farm equipment on the roads. Give them your patience and room to do their jobs. Trust me, they would rather be off the road working in their field than dealing with traffic. From all of us here at Agassiz Precision Ag, we say thank you and have a safe spring.
It's the North Dakota All-Star Gathering on your live event, as we'll cover the Shields Softball All-Star Series on June 2nd and 3rd.
This will be hit and over the shortstop Berg into left center field. A run comes in to score with Alexander Raff.
Optimist Volleyball Series June 16th and 17th.
Blue outside Linsinger with another hammer.
Plus, the Lions All-Star Basketball Series on July 14th and 15th.
Baldwin finds Wick. Wick open, three-pointer coming. Yes, sir!
For more information, go to yourliveevent.com.
Red River Valley Speedway, you one of the best. You got 'em for a rest.
The Rumble on the Red, presented by Ellingson Companies and Gerdau Metals Recycling, is coming to West Fargo, North Dakota. The World of Outlaws Not Center to Drink Sprint Cars come to the Red River Valley Speedway on Saturday, May 31st. Tickets are available now at slspromotions.com or by calling 815-344-2023.
As we come back on our post-game show, let's get to our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Go to Enbridge.com for career opportunities. Life takes energy. That, again, is Enbridge.com. And kind of a 1-2 combination in terms of the infield and the outfield. Ellie Steinlicht here today made a nice double play to finish off the West Fargo Packers in the 6th inning, but also got 2 runs driven in back in the 2nd and gave the Davies Eagles a 3-0 lead. The senior, both with the bat and both with the glove, is our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Go to Enbridge.com for career opportunities. Life takes energy. Our Agassiz Precision Ag Play of the Contest, there's a couple of them by Fargo Davies. They get the double play in the 5th. After Grace Fetter hit a fly ball to Davidson in center, Kackman would come in and score, but the trailing runner by Pappenfuss, she would get thrown out at third base as Davidson threw to Steinlicht to through to Carr, who applied the tag on Chloe. There was an out there, and also the double play that was made again by Steinlicht, 6-4, as able to retire Gretchen Klein in that one with the double play, and Oslin as well. A couple of double plays is our Agassiz Precision Ag Play the Contest. For your feature precision planting dealer, go to planterdoc.com. Then again, it's planterdoc.com. Agassiz Precision Ag. Our Halstead Telephone Company post-game connection comes for the Fargo Davies Eagles in the 3rd inning. In the 2nd inning, they were able to make that 3 runs across on 4 hits. They left 2 runners on, but they got in consecutive order a double by Mann, a single by Carr, a single by Savageau, and a walk by Nybach, and a line drive out by Dietrich into the glove of Klein. And then from there, a 2 RBI single by Steinlicht. That is our Halstead Telephone Company post-game connection with those base hits they were able to have in the 2nd. 4 of their 9 hits came in inning number 2. That is our Halstead Telephone Company post-game connection. Go to halsteadtel.com. That again is halsteadtel.com as we continue on our post-game show, brought to you in part by Norman County Raceway and the Red River Valley Speedway. Again, Davies improves to 12-12 on the season. They'll be the number 4 seed, the first time since 2014. And the 3rd time in program history, Davies will be making their way to a state tournament. Well, for the first time ever in program history, the West Fargo Packers are unable to make it to state, as the Packers will finish 12-19 on the year. We'll continue with more after this here on our post-game show. Looking to get to Ellie Steinlicht here for a post-game interview. That and more is still to come here on your LiveEvent.com.
Homegrown Local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Well, join us here on our post-game show brought to you in part by Norman County Raceway and the Red River Valley Speedway, the senior shortstop with Ellie Steinlicht here. And Ellie, for you guys, first things first, just to make state for the first time since 2014, third time in program history, just what does it mean for this crew to get to Grand Forks next week and open up the state tournament at 11 o'clock in the morning?
It means everything. We've been trying all year for this, and everything has led up to this moment. You know, the last 4 years playing, and everything has led up to this, so we're really happy. I'm super proud of these girls. So
take us through that double play. There was a couple of them that you were able to turn in those innings in the fifth and the sixth. Obviously, it gets a fly ball to Davidson. You're able to throw it over to your third baseman to get one there. Then you take it, 6-4 with the double play to finish off the sixth inning. Just take us through both of those plays defensively.
Just knowing what you're going to do with the ball next is kind of like my biggest thing. I'm always thinking, what am I going to do next with the ball? Bite always says you need to know what's next. If you mess up, if the ball gets thrown over, like what's happening and where's everyone and what you're going to do. And that's just always running through my head. And, yeah, we got the outs, and that was good for us. So.
Sophie Rarick obviously was sensational, two-hitter yesterday. She worked her way out of some jams here today. What have you just seen from her in terms of maturation from last year as an eighth grader, this year as a freshman, just to continue to grow and be someone you guys can lean on?
I'm so impressed with Sophie. She always knows how to get us out of situations, and even though sometimes she does get in her head, she always knows how to push through that and pitch. So that's good for us, and we're happy for
her. 3 games in the EDC tournament. What is one thing that you hope to barrel up as you get ready for at least a couple more games coming up at state and find out if you're going to play either Minot High or Williston coming up on Thursday?
We just need to realize the game's not over till it's over. We were in a stressful situation there. Every bases were loaded. We just need to take it play by play and know what we're doing. So
final thing, final out, what's going through your mind once you know that, hey, we're going to state?
I was so just proud of everyone. It's not just one person, it's the entire team, and I was so happy for everyone, and I'm proud. So
hey, Ellie, congratulations. We'll let you celebrate. Nice chain, by the way, as well, that you have, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you so much.
Ellie Steinlicht with us here on the post-game show. We'll put a bow on this one as the Eagles will play at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday up at the state tournament here, and we'll have more coverage for you from the EDC when we return on yourliveevent.com.
The World of Outlaws late models return to the Norman County Raceway, Ada, Minnesota, June 28th. Ada Building Center LLC start to finish showdown. Presented by R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. Enjoy the experience. Nationwide top 10 experience last year. Let's make it number 1 this year. World of Outlaws, late models, Ada Building Center LLC start to finish showdown. Presented by R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. Tickets now available. ncraceway.com.
Here's our post-game show brought to you in part by Norman County Raceway and the Red River Valley Speedway. Again, the Eagles will make their way to the state tournament for the 3rd time in program history. They will play at 11 o'clock in the morning. 11 o'clock in the morning for Davies on Thursday against either Minot High or against Williston Coyotes. So Fargo Davies, again, will play at 11 o'clock at UND in the state quarterfinals. They will wait to see who the matchups will be as the WDA championship is later, but they will either play Minot or Williston to open up state up in Grand Forks. That does it for our post-game show, brought to you in part by Norman County Raceway and the Red River Valley Speedway. When we come back, we'll get you ready for our second state qualifier, either between the Cheyenne Mustangs or the West Fargo Horace Hawks. Again, that is our post-game show, brought to you in part by the Red River Valley Speedway, Norman County Raceway. We got more next here on your liveevent.com.